Well, I'm just curious as to like the the end goal of knowing that human design information. Like, is there any, based off of that, what guidance could you get knowing what you know about your own human design?
This is so fun. So, all of the different people that are going to listen to this, if they're a generator type like you, then they're going to either have a response for the information or not. And in that, it gives them something to be attracted to and follow.
Mm.
There are 12 different, I call them, let's go with nourishment types: one, two, three, four, five, six, and then two variations of each one. Now, you're one variation of a first color, and I'm one variation of a first color. Most people, when they come into human design, it's very mental in the beginning because there's so much new information to take in. But the point of the information is to get you into your body. It has to go through the mind first, but you pretty much want to dump it out of the mind as fast as you can. You want the body to orient itself to the correct life. Now, telling people that their first color determination, which is ultimately a caveman or primal or first person type diet, we're like our textbook information will include quotes like, if you crave salt, put salt on your tongue. Whereas most people are like, where's the salt and vinegar chips or something, like they go for the junky food kind of. So then you have this mental process of, I want salt. Well, am I really just supposed to put salt on my tongue? And when I first got this information, I was really angry about it because I come from a little bit more of a health background. Some of that included working in a health food store and selling supplements many years ago. And it made me angry in the sense like, well, if I'm just going to put salt on my tongue, then really this isn't a single ingredient diet. This is an elemental diet. So maybe I never have to eat again. I'm just going to go to the health food store and I'm going to buy zinc and I'm going to buy vitamin C and I'm going to buy. And so I was kind of like poking fun at how reductionist this could get. And when we feed the brain appropriately in human design, we're taught that you have up until about 7 for neural development. But because most of us are not raised according to our specific diet type, food, we're taught, is our number one homogenizing force. Food is our number one conditioning force across the planet. You're told how to eat as a little kid, and it is conditioned by how the family eats, not how the individual prefers to eat, unless you have very, very, very progressive parents. So we have this very original food conditioning, and the idea that, most of us are beyond 7 years old when we find this information. So there's this sadness of, great, I could have had neural growth until 7, but my parents probably shut it off around the age of 2 to 3 years old. They didn't necessarily know better, but I'm not going to be able to get that back. At best, I can decondition and detox to be somewhat close to as good as I got around the age of 3 years old. And so there's a very long unwinding to go back to your original diet type. And we also talk about 7-year cellular cycles. It takes a very long time to turn over all the cells in the body and the old conditioning that's in them. But people mentally want to make progress as fast as they can. So you take someone who's a month into human design and they barely know enough about their body graph, but they're like, oh, the word diet, I'm programmed to recognize the word diet is something I should want to go after. And I'm still programmed to think if I look a certain way, my life will get easier. So I'm going to use this diet information to control how I look so I can control all these other things, which is not a part of human design. It's still normal people playing in human design. They haven't integrated the information yet. So hopefully after 7 years, you're deconditioned enough that your relationships have changed, your environment has changed, your work has changed, and all of those things around you change the way that you're now nourishing yourself, feeding yourself. And hopefully you've wound back the clock to get yourself as close as you can to your original diet type. And so I spent a couple of years like forcing myself to buy like a bag of peas and eat the bag of peas when that's not what I wanted. And it made me feel like shit because one ingredient at a time. And so your content was really fascinating because I could tell right away that you were a first color, but you didn't go through the whole process of finding design, finding the information, trying to trick yourself into it faster. You did it through the body-led process, which is the way that we want everyone to do it. And so your value is in having done the experiment naturally, by trusting yourself. And that's the point of human design, teaching each person to trust whatever their inner, so your inner authority is your sacral center, what you have a response for in the moment. So we want each person to trust that. So ultimately, I should know the answer to my own questions, which is you followed a response to eliminate the right foods and to start consuming the ones that were better for you. And so a lot of what you've provided for my listener is your experience, your process, the fact that it was natural, you could trust yourself enough to let it happen. It did yield you results that I want people to know about. There was a lot of good stuff that came out of this.